Tonight, you will probably struggle to fall asleep, or you'll wake up at 2 a.m. and lie there staring at the ceiling, wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you, but something is wrong with the world you were born into, and the thing that broke it was not your phone. It was not social media. It was not stress or caffeine or the pace of modern life. It was a glass bulb invented in 1879, and in less than 150 years, it has done something no war, no plague, no famine ever managed to do. It rewired the sleep of the entire human species. This is the story of how we destroyed the most important thing our bodies do, and why most of us don't even know it's broken. For 300,000 years, your ancestors slept in two pieces, not one long block the way you do now, two. They called it first sleep and second sleep. You went to bed shortly after dark, slept 4 hours, woke up, stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night, then slept again until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. This was the design. Historian Roger Ekirch spent 16 years searching through old records, prayer books from the 1400s, court documents, medical texts, private letters, and found over 500 references to this same pattern across every culture he examined. People in medieval France called the wakeful window the watch. A doctor's manual from 1500 told patients the best time to study, reflect, and think clearly was during this period. French physicians recommended that couples conceive children during it. The watch wasn't a problem to be solved. It was a feature, a state of consciousness so distinct, so peaceful, that people treated it as sacred time. Then one man took it away. Thomas Edison did not set out to destroy sleep. He set out to sell light bulbs. In 1879, he demonstrated the first practical incandescent bulb to a crowd of 3,000 people in Menlo Park, New Jersey. The newspapers called it the eighth wonder of the world. Within a decade, city streets across America and Europe were lit at night. Within a generation, homes were too. And the human body, which had spent 300,000 years sinking itself to the rising and falling of the sun, suddenly couldn't find the sunset anymore. Here's what that does to your biology. Your brain contains a tiny structure called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It is roughly the size of a grain of rice, and it is the master clock of your entire body. It tells every cell, every organ, every hormone system what time it is. It reads light. Specifically, it looks for the absence of blue light wavelengths to know that the sun has set. When darkness arrives, it sends one signal: release melatonin. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It is a message. It tells every system in your body: night has come, begin the sequence. Your core temperature drops, your heart rate slows, your cells shift from doing work to repair. This is not optional. Your immune system runs most of its maintenance at night. Your brain flushes toxic waste products through a system called the glymphatic system that only activates during sleep. The proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease, they accumulate during wakefulness and get cleared during deep sleep. Every night you don't sleep properly, a little more stays behind. Your body is not resting when you sleep. It is doing the most critical work of your life, and it needs darkness to know when to start. Thomas Edison knew this. He didn't care. In fact, he called sleep a criminal waste of time. He claimed he slept only 4 hours a night, and that any more was a sign of laziness. He was almost certainly lying. His personal diaries record frequent naps and long rest periods. But the myth he sold, that sleep is a weakness to be minimized, became the cultural bedrock of the industrial age. Factories needed workers at all hours. Electric light made that possible. Night shifts, late nights, early mornings. The economy no longer ran on sunlight. It ran on schedules, and the human body was simply expected to comply. In 1910, the average American slept 9 hours a night. By 1975, it was 7.5. Today, it is under 7 for most adults. In less than 1 century, we lost 2 full hours of sleep per night. That is not a personal failing. That is a species under assault. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Edison didn't just steal your hours, he stole the watch. That meditative, reflective window between first and second sleep. The period of quiet consciousness that your ancestors used to process their days, interpret their dreams, and exist in a state that psychiatrists now describe as chemically unique. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment. He removed all artificial light from a group of volunteers for 4 weeks. 14 hours of darkness a night. No screens, no bulbs, no streetlights. Within a few weeks, every single participant spontaneously reverted to the same pattern. 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 2 hours awake, 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to. And when Voer measured their hormone levels during that wakeful window, he found something remarkable. Prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation, was elevated to levels most modern humans never experience while awake. They described it as profoundly calm, not groggy, not anxious, not scrolling, just present. That state existed in every human for 300,000 years. Most people alive today have never felt it once, and it gets worse. Blue light, the specific wavelength your suprachiasmatic nucleus uses to detect daylight, is the dominant wavelength emitted by every screen you own. Your phone, your laptop, your television. When you look at a screen at 10 p.m., your brain does not know the difference between that light and the midday sun. It halts melatonin production. It tells every cell in your body it is noon, stay alert, do not begin the sequence. A 2014 study at Brigham and Women's Hospital found that people who read on an iPad before bed took nearly an hour longer to fall asleep than people who read a printed book. They had 55% less melatonin in their blood. They spent less time in REM sleep, and the next morning they reported feeling significantly more tired, even after sleeping the same number of hours. The hours looked the same. The sleep was not. This is what Edison handed down to you. Not just later bedtimes, a biological system running perpetually out of sync with the world it evolved to navigate. And the consequences are not small. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to every major disease of the modern age. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, depression, Alzheimer's, cancer. The World Health Organization has classified night shift work, which requires you to be awake when your body demands sleep, as a probable carcinogen, in the same category as lead and engine exhaust. We did not evolve to override the dark. We evolved inside it. Here's what makes this strange. The fix is not complicated. Researchers at the University of Colorado took a group of volunteers camping for 1 week. No phones, no artificial light, just sun and firelight. After 7 days, their melatonin cycles had shifted by nearly 2 hours. Their bodies started producing melatonin at sunset instead of hours after it. 300,000 years of biological programming reasserted itself in 7 days. The system is not broken. It just keeps getting interrupted. Edison died in 1931. His last breath, according to legend, was captured in a test tube by his friend Henry Ford, who kept it as a keepsake. A man who reshaped the nights of the entire human species is now a sealed glass vial in a museum in Michigan. But his invention is still running, still telling your suprachiasmatic nucleus that the sun never sets, still stealing the 2 hours your great-great-grandparents spent in that quiet, prolactin-soaked, meditative middle of the night, reflecting, dreaming awake, being human in the dark. You will probably not go camping this week. But tonight, when you lie awake at 2 a.m., wondering what's wrong with you, remember this. Your body is not malfunctioning. It is looking for the darkness that someone took away, and it has been looking for it every night since 1879.